When militant lesbians at work sexually harassed me and sexually abused me for sharing pleasure and sex with good and loving women at bars, I told them, life is bigger than you and me. What I meant by that is that they were looking at a small you and me conflict when there were far bigger issues at stake. If you have a personal grudge against someone and act on that grudge, you may be hurting far more than just that one person. For example, if a man is working on a cure for cancer and an evil person destroys his medical career, then it is not just an act of economically abusing one person, but an act of killing millions of people who would have been saved by his cure for cancer. In my case, I was working to help prevent the global nuclear extermination of the human species. I was also working on a system of psychology to end violence and rape. Thus, acting to sabotage my work and job would not just hurt me, but would destroy the human species, not to mention causing the rape and murder of millions of women. By attacking me and my work, militant lesbians were on the side of the extermination of humanity and were on the side of the rape and murder of millions of women. Their blind hatred and grudge against me made them blind to the fact that they were acting on the side of rape, murder, and genocide. I told them that they were on the side of rape and rapist, but they were blinded by hatred and could not see the truth. Some are so blinded by hatred of male lovers of women that they do not understand that their actions are an act of war against women. Others know that they are at war with heterosexual women. In life, there are three kinds of people: the good, the bad, and the brainwashed. Good people are motivated by love and compassion for others and work to help others. Evil people are motivated by selfish lust for power and blind hatred of others. Brainwashed people are suicidal in the sense that they act against their own self-interest because they have been brainwashed by evil people. It may be a shock to some women, but there are evil militant women who lie, rape, and kill. Some women in the women's movement have been raped by militant lesbians in the women's movement and then told to not dare expose the rape or they would be acting against the women's movement. Militant lesbians who rape other women and teach a philosophy that promotes the rape of women are in fact on the side of rape and rapist. Yet the brainwashed women still believe the lie that militant lesbians are working to end the rape of women when they are rather raping women and promoting the rape of women. I have a message to brainwashed women. If you love yourself and other women and you honestly want the rape of women to end, then you will listen to what I have to say to you. You know that I can read your mind. I have heard some women think the following thoughts: militant women are on the side of women and thus on my side, so it is my duty to support them and argue in their favor. But you are very, very wrong. Militant women are at war with women. Militant women are at war with you. Militant women are not your friends. Militant women are your enemies. If you love yourself and love women, then you must argue against militant women. You must empower yourself to stand up and fight back against militant lesbians and their war against women. You must join with male lovers of women and get the help of male lovers. I also have a message for good and loving women. I am grateful to good and loving women at bars for the respect, support, shared pleasure and sex. You have helped me to do my sexual research and invent the most advanced system of positive self-change psychology in existence anywhere in the world. You helped me to succeed not only at being a highly skilled lover of women, but at learning the psychological secrets to being a highly skilled lover so that I can teach other men. In order to make your dreams come true of more men being highly skilled lovers of women, I need to teach my class nationally to millions of men and women. To end the suffering of women and men, I also need to need the help of millions of good and loving men and women. We must unite and form a national organization of lovers in order to teach my class to millions and change social values. Militant lesbians are at war with heterosexual lovers, so heterosexual lovers must unite and fight back. Many do not believe that militant lesbians are at war with heterosexual lovers, but the evidence proves otherwise. The book Sisterhood is Powerful is a document that has a document called the Scum Manifesto, which was written by a militant lesbian. A part of that document reads, and this is a quote, we will kill all men, quote. When an organization of militant lesbians is dedicated to killing all men, it is clear that militant lesbians are at war with men. However, the document also says, quote, we will couple bust, break into mixed male-female couples, and bust them up, unquote. When militant lesbians say they want to beat up heterosexual men and women, or bust up heterosexual men and women for sharing pleasure, it becomes clear that they are also at war with heterosexual women who dare to share pleasure with men. One leading militant lesbian said, all heterosexual sex is rape. When militant lesbians make the two statements, A, we want to end rape, B, all heterosexual sex is rape, then the simple rules of logic concludes, C, they want to end all heterosexual sex. If you believe their own words, then you must believe that militant lesbians want to end all heterosexual sex. That is what they say. That is their own words. In their own words, they are at war with heterosexual love. Militant lesbians are liars and hide their real purpose with an excuse or rationalization that sounds good. When they hate, slander, threaten, and punish a man for giving good and loving women at bars the pleasure and sex that they wanted, they do not want people to believe that they are at war with male lovers of women and want to keep men from being highly skilled lovers of women. So they make up a rationalization to hide the truth. In my case, they claimed that they were really punishing me because 20 years earlier in high school, I had an emotional problem, believed that women wanted men to be bashful, and dared to express my beliefs in an effort to get help from others. First, even if it were true that they were punishing me for having an emotional problem 20 years earlier in life, it is cruel and just plain wrong to punish someone for having a psychological conflict. Traumatic emotional experiences as a child can give someone a psychological conflict. People need help to overcome the emotional scars from childhood abuse. Traditional society teaches that men are supposed to be rulers and warriors, show no sign of weakness, and never complain about physical and emotional pain. Going to a doctor or a psychiatrist is seen as a sign of being weak and not being a real man. Men must never cry, but must always get angry. When a man feels emotional pain, rather than crying, he is supposed to beat up other men or women or rape women. Those are the things that prove to traditional society that he is a real man. By attacking me for having an emotional conflict, militant lesbians were siding with the traditional values that real men are supposed to beat up and rape women to prove their manhood, rather than expose the weakness of an emotional problem. But I do not really believe they were punishing me for failing to be a real man who beats up and rapes women. A male rapist, leader of a rape gang, may find it funny for a man to not force himself on women to overcome his fear of rejection, but it would be irrational for women to condemn a man for failing to be a real man. I believe they were attacking me for being a lover with women at bars. When a man goes to a bar on the weekend and shares pleasure and sex with women at bars, and then, come Monday morning at work, militant lesbians verbally criticize him for what he did on that weekend, then clearly he is being attacked for being a lover at bars, not for failing to be a real man 20 years earlier in his life. When I wrote my book, Jesus Christ, World Utopia, some claimed that they were banning it from bookstores because it criticized women. That was a lie. The truth is that the book does not even have the word woman or women in it. The truth is that book contained one of the key spiritual secrets to ending the rape of women. Therefore, when militant lesbians opposed my book, it was an act of war against women because it contained the most important key to ending violence and rape. Also, when militant lesbians ban books that actually do criticize women, it is also an act of war against women because it denies women the constructive criticism that they need in order to improve themselves and live happier lives. My next book, The Quest for Love, taught men the psychological secrets that I learned at bars on how to be a highly skilled lover of women. When militant lesbians opposed that book, it was an act of war against women because it denied women happier lives from men learning how to be highly skilled lovers. I also developed a psychological class to help end violence and rape. When militant lesbians opposed my work to end the rape of women, it was an act of war against women because it kept millions of women from being saved from violence and rape. When militant lesbians attack a man for giving women at bars the pleasure and sex that they want, they are not acting in behalf of women. It is an act of war against women. When militant lesbians oppose a man's work to end rape, they are not acting in behalf of women. It is an act of war against women. Militant lesbians are not the friends of women. Militant lesbians are the enemies of women. Militant lesbians are anti-feminist. The book Who Stole Feminism by Christine Hoff Sommers supports the position that the women's movement at one time was a movement that was for women and love, but was taken over by militant lesbians and then promoted the militant lesbian agenda and became a movement that was against heterosexual women and against heterosexual love. By opposing love-based feminism, militant lesbians are anti-feminist, and they oppose the real interest of women, and therefore they are anti-feminist. If the love dreams of women are to come true, then there must be a new movement, and there must be a new movement and a new organization. It is time for men who love women and women who love men to unite and form their own social movement. Those who say white people should be for the white race and women should be for women seek to divide people based on race and gender. People of all races should love one another and be on the side of all races. People of both genders should love one another and be on the side of both genders. We need to end the racial hatred of militant white people and end the sexual hatred of militant lesbians. They are the evil people who try to divide people into warring camps based on race and gender. I call on male and female lovers of all races to unite. I call on relationship psychologists to help build a new social movement to unite people based on love. I can teach my class on love so that all of the people of the world will be united by love for one another. God is love. Those who follow God live their life for love. Thank you.